President Donald Trump says he's a genius. Sometimes people even say it for him. "You're an effing genius," someone wrote to him on Twitter in 2013. "IQ tests confirm," Trump replied. In fact, he wrote this weekend, his lifetime of success in business, TV, and politics would qualify as not smart, but genius. And a very stable genius at that. He's been less enthusiastic about providing evidence of his intelligence. Trump has repeatedly challenged people to IQ tests, but when someone once asked him to prove his own score, he simply replied, "The highest, a-hole." The Washington Post asked the White House if it would share his IQ test results on Sunday, if there are any, but got no immediate reply. So be it, there's no law that a president has to document his intelligence. But if Trump doesn't, he should know that someone might come along and try to measure it for him. It's happened before. In 2006, a psychologist at the University of California at Davis applied a statistical algorithm to reams of presidential biographies, surveys, polls, and other historical sources, and concluded that the smartest man to have ever occupied the White House was our sixth president, John Quincy Adams. Talk about peaking early. With an estimated IQ between 165 and 175, Adams was a genius by any common definition of the term, according to the study. By comparison, most people score about 100. A child with an IQ in the 160s was declared smarter than Albert Einstein and Stephen Hawking by international tabloids. There are, of course, many asterisks beside Adams' big number. He never took an intelligence test, which Politico notes were not invented until the early 1900s, long after his death. And the definition and meaning of an IQ has evolved even since then. President Donald Trump lashed out at critics Saturday in defense of his mental fitness for office, calling himself a very stable genius in a tweet storm of boasts. First on Twitter, then at a news conference with Republican leaders at Camp David, Trump defended himself against a new book that President Donald Trump lashed out at critics Saturday in defense of his mental fitness for office, calling himself a very stable genius in a tweet storm of boasts. First on Twitter, then at a news conference with Republican leaders at Camp David, Trump defended himself against a new book that. But as psychologist Dean Keith Simonton wrote in his 2006 study, Adams was among 8 U.S. presidents declared geniuses in a 1926 study by an early intelligence researcher named Catherine Cox. She had sifted through the biographies of hundreds of famous people and worked out a method to estimate IQs based on childhood and adolescent achievements. It's not hard to see how Adams would have impressed her. As the University of Virginia's Miller Center writes, he was the son of John Adams, who also bound for the White House. Young Adams considered himself his family's protector while his father was helping plan the Revolutionary War. He crossed the Atlantic at age 10, rode mules from Spain to Paris, and passed the bar exam in the new United States of America at 23. Simonton took Cox's IQ's estimates for Adams and other early presidents, and cross-referenced them with biographical information for their modern-day successors.